Okay, so we're going to look at slip trailing today. Slip trailing, if you want to see an example, is basically drawing with clay or drawing with slip. And so you can see these like raised areas on this slab. This was all drawn on there with slip, okay? And for at least Woo Blue, when it's thin, it's brown. And so it breaks on that slip trailing and turns the slip trailing brown and everything else blue. Okay, so this is a neat technique. This is a cheap technique because we already have clay. And so all you have to do is run the clay through a sieve. And so this has like a wire mesh in it. And I have one that has like that has a rotary top on it so I can just turn the handle. So it's easier, but it looks like that. And so I put the slip in a glue bottle because glue bottles are really strong and they're something that I have for free. So you want to hold these just like you would hold a pencil, okay? It might feel kind of awkward, but this is how it's gonna work. You can see some of the slip trailing on this canvas. The clay from the sieve is really smooth, so it's not gonna get stuck as long as people twist this part down and the top of it doesn't dry out. Okay, sometimes the top, if it's left like this, will dry out and you'll have to pull this part off and, you know, scoop out the dry clay here and scoop out the dry clay here. But for the most part, this works really well. So you would open this up and then you would be able to draw just by squeezing the bottle, just like you were applying glue. Okay, so you kind of think about what you want this to look like. Usually slip trailing looks best when you are fast. The slower you try and do something, the shakier you can be. So trying to squeeze and actually draw a line is better than trying to go really slow, okay? Now, the other thing that can happen is people they think they're putting slip trailing on, but really they're just like drawing a line that's very, very thin. Anything that's thin or doesn't puff up isn't going to show up, okay? So think about it, what you would want to do. This is opposite of stamping. Stamping is very permanent, okay? It's very hard to get it to go away. Slip trailing, on the other hand, you can wipe this off and it's gone, okay? So that's kind of a nice thing about it, but it's also a bad thing because what happens if you stick your hand right on top of something that you really like, okay? It's like gone. There's no way to recover it, okay? So you kind of have to think about, you know, what you want to do. Do you want to do a radial design, you know what I mean, right here where you would draw some kind of design, okay, and I don't know. Okay, it's kind of hard. If you don't like it, you wipe it off. Sometimes you need to reposition it, like it would be better to have it this direction so you could draw, okay? But, you know, you just have to give it a shot and see. And what's nice is you can see what it looks like, and then you can say, okay, I don't like this, or yeah, I do, okay? And like that one, just a little globby. I'm gonna wipe it off. What this naturally does is make a kind of like a Hershey's Kiss, like a little like thing that pokes up. And so those need to be pushed down. They're really sharp when they have glaze on top of them. So this is something that will have to sit in your bag for a while. And what I have people do is once they're done slip trailing, they open up their bag and they put it on the shelf like they were turning it in. So this bag is opened where the handles are like right here. You see there's one handle here and one handle here. So this is the bottom of the bag. And they just sit their pot just like that, okay? So they don't actually cover it up. You can kind of see there's the design. I'm gonna let this sit for a certain amount of time, and then when I leave today, I will cover it up, okay? Because if you try to cover this up it's going to smear all over that bag. Okay, and it's going to mess up the design that you had. Okay, just in an instant, it's gone. Okay, so which is, again, good and bad. Okay, because you can take a sponge and wipe this off and your pot looks 100% like it did before. Okay, so that's a nice thing. Please don't use this for regular scoring and slipping. This slip is a huge pain to make. Okay, I mean, it took me quite a while this class period to do that. The other thing is if you use a whole bunch of it and you have like globs of this on your canvas, you can open this back up and just tap this so it's empty and put it right back in and use it again. Okay, so if you have a ton of it, it's not like there's always a little bit of waste in everything we do, but we don't want to purposely waste it. Okay, questions?